Hey guys, happy Monday. Out here, been busy the last few days. See, Friday was busy. Had more problems with my wife's car tire, so took it off, ran water over it, soapy water over it, Windex over it. Couldn't find anything. Okay. Could not find any leaks at all. So I cleaned it up. I called my dad, see if he had any ideas. He said clean it up, bring it over, we'll drop it in his pool. So that's what we did. Cleaned it up, took it over there, put it in his pool, and found it. There was a slice right on the edge where the sidewall comes up. Like it'd be, let's see here. It'd be like right here. And the flap went this way. So if I poured water on it or soapy water, it'd just run over the flap. And then if the tire, he did it the opposite way under here, couldn't see it. So we shoved the plug in it. The plug didn't hold. It held for a little while, but you know, it just didn't work. But we bought that car for my wife's mom, for my mother-in-law, and she had just put tires on it not too long ago, so they weren't old tires. Fortunately, she bought it from Les Schwab, so took it over there, got a new tire. Didn't cost anything. So in the end, good news. And actually, I don't think it's a brand new tire. I didn't take it over there. I was busy doing something else. I think it might be a used tire, but it's in great shape. So a lot better than the other one that we took off. So took care of that on Friday. Worked a couple extra days, and then Saturday went to a local card show called Swing Time. It's more of a music show, more of a rockabilly music show, but there's a lot of cars there, a lot of pinup girls. They had a pinup contest. Friday night they had a beard contest, but I wasn't able to make that. I was at work. But the coolest thing, I did get to meet one of my favorite car builders, Bo Huff. I don't know if anybody, you know, I'm sure some people out there know who he is, but in my opinion, he builds some of the coolest custom cars out there. Just kind of an old school rockabilly style. Nothing flashy, nothing, you know, not a whole lot of modern stuff on the cars, but man, they look cool. He knows how to chop a top and just make it look right. He does a lot of 4-doors that he chops the tops on, and I personally prefer 4-doors, so, you know, got to meet him and talk to him for a little bit. Hell of a nice guy. That was kind of cool. You know, there's a few builders out there that someday I wanted to meet, and he was probably at the top of the list. So that was way cool. I went there with 2 of my daughters. My other daughter helped take my niece and nephew halfway to Southern California. She went with her mom to take them down there. So cool day with my kids. Hung out there. Hung out Saturday night. Had a nice mellow Saturday night yesterday. One of my good buddies, you know, kind of one of those brother from another mother type people. He came up from, he lives in Texas now, so he came and visited us because he was out here for work. So he came, spent the day with us yesterday, went to the county fair, hung out, had a good time with him. Always have a good time with him. Him and his family came and spent Easter with us, so it's always good to see somebody you don't get to see all the time. Or I should say it's usually good to see somebody you don't get to see all the time. You know, I'm sure there's exceptions out there. But yeah, so enough of my flabbing my gums about my weekend. Out here doing some work. I really need to stop saying so we got that. It's still hot. Cut this from, it's a piece of 1/4-inch plate. It's kind of hard to see with the sun. Just cut that off. It's going to be my plate that goes behind here. I'm gonna somehow clamp it on. I'll figure it out, drill the holes in it, and then weld the nuts on the back so it'll have the captured nuts on there. It's the idea I had last week, and then a couple people commented on the video, said it was a good idea. That solidified it in my mind. Now that that's 2 pieces, another couple comments from Chevaholic and Bronco Carl. They said I should weld a piece on top here to tie them together, and you know, I thought about that before, but then I thought, no, it's not necessary. But then you get a couple guys that know what they're doing, recommend it. so I think it's a damn good idea. I just got a piece of cardstock right there. I think what I'm going to have to do is cut this, kind of make it a little relief here, try and do it nice and rounded so it looks nice, so there's never going to be any interference between the bar or the jam nut or anything like that in this piece up here. The top one's not as important because the bar, if I use the top holes that I put in, the thing would basically be resting on its bump stops at right height, and I'm not going to do that. I'll most likely be using the middle or the bottom hole. I basically just put 3 holes in here because that looked better. I know, again, something under the car that looks better, but it was a little more pleasing to the eye to do it that way. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this one on top. I have to trim, it's kind of hard to see, but I got to trim this a little bit so it follows the frame better. Then once I do that, I'll do the same thing up top, down here, across. This one will have to have a relief in it also. I think it'll be a lot. I know it'll add some structural integrity to it, but also I think it will definitely make it look like a finished product versus something that I just kind of hacked together. I think it'll be a pretty good looking bracket after that. Again, a good looking bracket that, you know, nobody's going to see when I drive the thing around. But you guys see it and comment on it, appreciate it. So that's important to me. For the top, I'll use some of these little ellipse templates that I have to try and make it even there when I cut those little reliefs out. Anyway, that's about it. That's what I got going on. I kind of have a free day today. We really got nothing going on except for my wife taking my daughter to dance, and you know, those of you that have kids, you know, you guys know what it's like to not, free days don't happen very often. So I'll kind of have one today. My plan is to get that bracket knocked out completely today, welded up, cleaned up, and then maybe throw some etch primer on it. So it's, you know, have that ready to go. And yeah, that's about it. That's about all I got going on. I watched a couple videos last night, a couple videos this morning. Mr. Heavy Chevy's getting his truck all together. He said he thinks there's room for a big block. I think there's always room for a big block. If I didn't have a 200-mile-an-hour motorcycle, I guarantee this thing would have a big block in it. But you know, no reason to put that money out when it'll feel slow next to my bike. Someday though, gotta build a big block gasser someday. That's that's on the bucket list of cars to build. So anyway, you guys all have a good day, good week. Hope your week's good. My week was rough last week. This week's going to be a better week. I know it. I keep thinking that way, so it's going to be. Things have calmed down a little bit as far as running around places and burning the candle at both ends. So that's a good thing. I mean, kind of like you know, mellow out a little bit, enjoy the summer. That's what I want to do now. So yeah, today's my fabrication day. We're going to work on that. I hope to get that bracket completely done, and the plate for the back with the capture nuts done. I get those 2 things done today, I'll be pretty happy, and I'm hoping maybe I can figure out finally how I'm going to run my air lines from there to here. I think what I'm going to do is get some exhaust pipe that I have. I think I showed it before, but got the exhaust pipe that I'm going to use back there. It's 2.5 inch, which, you know, probably a little big for this motor, but it'll sound good. That's what matters, right? I'm going to get some of that out and kind of put it in position where I think it's going to be. Either stack it on a block of wood or maybe set it on a jack stand, kind of in this area here, so I can figure out how to run those lines so the exhaust doesn't interfere. I think the plan is eventually I'm going to run the exhaust to this point and probably not do anything with it right now until I get the truck reassembled and figure out what kind of space I'm going to have, because I think the exhaust is going to come out in front of the rear tire, and I think the best place for it is going to be kind of in front of this bracket here. tips will come out right there. That's what I'm thinking right now. We'll see. I originally wanted to run it out the back because I wanted to put the flamethrowers on it, but then I decided to go with airbags, and this frame's narrow actually, so that's not going to work. I'd have to run the exhaust underneath the axle, which when you're running airbags, that's not a very good idea, because next time you run the air up, since the exhaust is mounted to the frame, you bend your exhaust. So fortunately I had that thought before I did it. Every now and then good ideas happen. So again, I think I said I was going to shut it off, and then I talked for 2 more minutes. That's okay. We all do it at some point in time. So yeah, hope you guys all have a good week. Hope everybody gets a chance to make a video. I'm kind of caught up on watching the videos. Saw Yahubin's video about his getting stuff in his eye. Got my glasses and my mask, and my earplugs are in my pocket getting nice and dirty. So I'll make my ears nice and dirty. And gloves, that's important. Can't you know, you get by with a lot of things, but once you screw up your eyes are screwed up. Those don't grow back. I know guys like my dad, especially, he's missing 3 fingers on his left hand, and he's got through life fine. So you get through life without fingers, but eyes, that's kind of hard to do. And you know, if anything, it's hard to watch videos with no eyes. But yeah, okay, I definitely talked long enough. You guys all take it easy, be good, have a good week. I hope to be out here a couple more times this week and get some more fabrication knocked out. You guys all take it easy, have a good one. Talk to you later.